This is the Heather Patero Show, where conversation meets calling. Well, welcome back to the Heather Patero Show, where conversation meets calling. And today, where we are absolutely taking a trip down memory lane. My guest is a man I've known for nearly 40 years. It's hard to believe that. We survived the hot and humid Georgia summer band camps, polyester band uniforms, and 80s hair, and still became functioning adults. He's a singer-songwriter, a retired fire chief, a veteran firefighter, EMT, a granddad, a businessman, and one of my dear friends. Please welcome the man who can handle the heat and the high notes, Mark Ware. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Hey, thank you, Heather. And it's so good to see you again. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on the show. We've got a lot of history, a lot of stories, and a whole lot to talk about. So let's get into it. So before we get deep, we need to honor the sacred ground, Stockbridge High School band days. For the younger listeners, this was a magical era of hauling gear like unpaid roadies, somebody always leaving their music on the bus, and developing superhuman strength from hauling tubas through Georgia humidity. Don't you think, Mark?
Awesome. But what a timeline in my life that I still cherish to this day. Seems like just yesterday. I don't seem like I'm going to be turning 55 this year. It seems like I'm getting ready to head back to West Georgia band camp this summer. And it seemed like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, that's very true. So what's your all-time favorite memory from our Stockbridge days?
I guess just the friendships that I was able to cultivate during that time. I'm still friends with them today. The Rodney Brooks, the Chad Brooks, the Will Turpins, Dave Henry, even all the way to the band teachers. It's just those friendships I was able to cultivate, during that time. Little did I know that, 40 some odd years later, that we would all be still great friends and working together and collaborating, playing golf, fishing, and just still acting like we're, 15 and 16 years old sometimes. We act like it, just don't feel like it.
That's right. Our bodies are telling on us, right?
Right.
So what's one memory that still makes you laugh instantly from those days?
I just talked about this the other day. The memory that still makes me laugh, and we often talk about it, is the time I snuck my Copenhagen into the drill session there at band camp, and Ross Iddings was going to make us run. So when I took off, my dip can rolled out of my shorts where I was hiding my dip can in for the day. And I had two choices. I can either swallow it or get in trouble. I was going to call my parents. So we still laugh about that all day long because, the whole brass line took off running straight, and I took off running straight and then made a beeline right trying to catch my rolling dip can. And made it very obvious. So, that's something we still laugh about today.
So did you know back then that music was going to be such a big part of your life?
I didn't realize how big of a piece it was going to be in my life, but I found out at an early age what music was doing for me personally. Even as a teenager and even dealing with the things that teenagers deal with every day, I look back now and music has just been my refuge and my safe place pretty much my entire life. So I know that music made me feel good. And I know that learning my parts made me feel good. So I didn't look at it the same way I look at it today. But looking back on it, music was doing just what it was supposed to do.
That's good stuff. What did those years teach you that still shows up every time you perform today?
Discipline, work ethic, habits, all the things that's important. As you prepare for a show is the same thing we did, carrying around a song flute in the third grade. We wanted to be prepared when we came to class. So you had to develop a work ethic, even as a child, even as a teenager, and even as a young adult, continuing in music, you have to develop and maintain those habits if you want to be successful and do what you're supposed to do. So that taught me like I say, in the third grade when I signed up to be in music class. It's taught me that since day one.
We all know that band kids are basically just touring musicians with less sleep and worse snacks. I mean, that's what it boils down to, right? So from there, your roots got deeper. Church, piano every Sunday. Then you formed some bands, All for Him, Shiloh, and suddenly this wasn't just the band kid chapter anymore. You're now collaborating internationally with our amazing friend and band director, David Henry, on music. He lives in Ecuador and you live in Georgia. How is that going?
It's going wonderful. And listen, I've been able to create such an amazing circle here in the music business. My membership with the International Singer-Songwriters Association. So it's not just Dave, it's from folks all over the world that, listen, if you can just have another expert in your field to listen to your craft, to look at your craft, that's priceless. And but Dave has been, we still have the student teacher relationship. I can't get past that. I can't get past that. But I'm here in Nashville today, and I've got some sessions scheduled this afternoon. And the first person I'm going to send that to, the first mix that I get back, the first person I'm going to send that to is Dave, just to put his production ears on it, and give me his feedback. And it's just been priceless. The final product has, and it just makes me cherish the lyrics and the song and the production even more.
Oh yeah, Dave's a fantastic musician. So let me give the quick headline version and then you give me the real one, okay? You built a serious life in two worlds with the music, and then fire service, firefighter, EMT, leadership, command staff, and then eventually fire chief. I mean, that's not one career, that's two full whole lives right there. Which was harder to manage, a real emergency or a band full of musicians with opinions on where to eat after the gig?
It's more frustrating dealing with the musicians at times, but definitely the fire service, just because of the decisions that had to be made in such a quick time, and they had to be the correct decisions. A lot of times I tell my son the same thing. Well, the reason I am the way I am, and the reason I am with you is, in my world, if we made a mistake, then it wasn't just, hey, we lost money, hey, we lost some time, or we lost a little bit of focus and we need to refocus. In my world, for 32 years, if we made a mistake, then usually somebody died. And so, we have to be perfect. We have to train, and we have to execute the same way every single time. And so managing the fire service was a little bit harder. And it got harder as the older I got. Employees change. We wasn't attracting the same workforce as we did when I came in at 17, 18 years old. I found out really quickly that the 17, 18-year-old man was different in 1989 than it is in 2027. It's just different. And a lot of that I blame on our generation. How we raise our kids. My parents raised me a little bit different. But yeah, to answer your question, it was harder to manage emergency scenes than it was the music guys, but it was more frustrating with the music guys.
Sure. So what did the fire service teach you that still shows up in your music life?
Again, like I just mentioned, the training, the stability, the structure, the structure of how we operate and do our day-to-day business. A lot of that translate in the same way that I was brought up with music. And I don't know if that's what attracted to me to that profession or not. Paramilitary, because even band was paramilitary a little bit, but that's what I was used to. That's how I prospered. So I took that same grit, I took that same work ethic, I took that same structure, and just applied it to my everyday life, and even with music.
If music disappeared tomorrow, would part of you still be ready to run back towards the firehouse?
I still have all my gear, and I'm still listed as an assistant chief in my hometown. So when I'm not on the road and I get some time, at least I still get to go by and smell fire trucks and run calls and stuff like that. I've built some very strong relationships throughout my career. And I still stay on the board of directors, active with the board of directors for the firefighters of Georgia. And, I was just with them for Firefighter Day at our Capitol with our legislators, and just still trying to do what I can to push forward the Georgia Fire Service, make it a better place for our men and women in the fire service, a safer place. And so I would go back to that in a minute if I needed to put food on the table.
So was there ever a day you left a shift and then went straight to a gig thinking, I am held together by coffee and Jesus?
Heather, I remember the days early on in my career where the bus would be waiting on me outside of the fire station for me to clock out at 7 to get on the bus to go to a show somewhere, and then bring me back 2 days later to make sure I was there at shift change. But yeah, a lot of energy drinks, a lot of coffee. But luckily, I was too young to drive, and my dad was still driving the bus back then. So, if I needed a nap, I could get it, because you get it on the way to the show.
Well, if you can manage a real emergency, you can survive a late sound check, right?
That's right.
All right. This is a perfect spot for our first song that we're going to hear from Mark. Before we play it, Mark, tell me about this one. It's called Brim. What's the story behind it, and what was going on in your life when you wrote it?
So Brim is a special song for me, and it's just about my grandson. His name is Connor, but when he was born, he just wouldn't stop moving. And we live on the lake, and I said, look at this little Brim, talking about the fish. And it stuck. So now his teachers and, I don't even know if he knows his real name now. His real name's Connor, but everyone calls him Brim. But like I say, we live out on the lake. And one day I was having a conversation with Brim when he was about 9 months old, about as much of a conversation as you can have with a 9-month-old at the time. And I was just, Papa was holding his grandson, and I was just looking at him and talking about life. I said, Brim, it's going to be hell when you're going through it. It's going to be tough. But you got to do it. Please don't make the same mistakes as your old man. And, I got to thinking about that, and I said, that's a song. So the next day I got up and crafted the song we had a big show at the house the next day. I had a great singer-songwriter. He is doing phenomenal right now. Brian Martin was at the house. And I told him the story, and we sit down there in our basement, finished the song in about 45 minutes. Went to Nashville and recorded it, and it's doing very well. So I hope you enjoy it the same way I enjoyed writing it and crafting it.
Well, I love that. And the title alone sounds like somebody's life is full to the top, which honestly fits you. Here's Mark Ware with Brim.
Other day, he said, Papa, why do I feel this way? I could tell by the hurt and the pain he had in his eyes. So we took a walk and we talked a while. It wasn't that long till I seen a smile. You see, son, all of those things I've done, I'll keep you from. It's gonna be hell when you're going through it. It's gonna be tough, but you gotta do it. Please don't make the same mistakes as your old man. When this whole life knocks you down, I may not always be around. So listen up, I hope it's enough. These words are all I have. Spent in the county jail, doing things I knew good and well I shouldn't be doing. No, I shouldn't be doing. Now, Dad didn't answer when I called. That said a lot, cause it answered them all. Sitting here thinking our trust is gone and ruined. It's gonna be hell when you're going through it. It's gonna be words are all I have. These words are all I have.
What a great song, Mark. Okay, we've laughed, we've reminisced. Now I want to sit in a part of your story where you and I both know that life eventually stops being a rehearsal and gets very, very real. You lost your daughter at 14, and then later you and your wife, Kim, walked through the loss of her child at 18. That kind of grief changes everything. You've both walked through what no parent wants to imagine, losing a child. And I appreciate that you talk about it so openly and honestly. When people hear he lost a child, they understand the words, but not the reality. What did grief actually look like for you in those early days and months?
It was just pure hell, Heather. It really was. It's just you can't even fathom and imagine. God giving you the most precious thing He could ever give you, and that's a child, and then it being ripped from you suddenly twice, and then having to spend your holidays and birthdays and stuff just trying to figure out how to cope with the new world that you live in without the most precious thing you ever was given. But that's the only way I would describe it. It's just gut wrenching and pure hell.
Well, you've been open about how that loss pulled you into a dark space. Looking back now, what do you wish people understood about grief and the spiral that can come with it?
And a lot of folks always say this, and I'm big with my faith, and a lot of people always say this, and say, hey, you need to turn to the Lord in this situation. He's the only one that's going to help you pull through, kind of thing. But even that's the last thing that a parent wants to hear. It is so true, because at the end of the day, the only thing that snatched me back from the pits of hell was my prayers to my God, prayers to the Lord. It's the only thing that snatched me back. And until I just surrendered like I was supposed to and gave it to Him, I think that's the only reason I'm even taking a breath today, is because I finally surrendered. It doesn't decrease the pain that you have. But somehow, some way, I don't know how to answer it. I just know that He's given me the strength, and He's given me what it's taken to move forward. And so it wasn't until I surrendered and said, "Hey, Lord, if this is how it's going to be, then so be it."
So how did faith and community help you find your way back without pretending everything was okay?
It's just, again, that's a hard one to answer. It's a supernatural feeling that you have when you do have a personal relationship with our Lord. But it was His guidance. It was my surrender, but it was His guidance. And, that's the best way I know to answer that, Heather.
Well, as it often does, a song comes out of pain, and it carries a very specific kind of compassion. And I know your heart behind it is to help parents who've had to walk this road as well. Tell me how your new song, Lost One, came to be. Was it a lyric first, a memory, a moment? What opened that door to be able to spill out that grief and that hope and healing that the Lord gave you during that time?
So we're getting some momentum here with our business and music, where our fans are just really wanting to know me. They're really wanting to just get to know me. They want to know my story. And so I'm pumping out the songs about my grandkids, the song about my grandkids on the way, my life, the good times and the bad times. And as I was thinking one evening, I was just watching TV thinking, and just watching my wife. And I was like, you know what? A good song would be for me right now is to write a song. And it was intended at first to write a song about her journey and her grief, and just me witnessing a mama trying to go through, a parent go through the new norm, trying to figure out the new norm, and her journey with losing a child. So it started with that. And I was scheduled back in Tennessee a couple of days later. And a lot of my time in the truck or on the bus is I do my songwriting. I write down my lyrics. I talk in my phone, make notes. But by the time I got to Tennessee, it turned into an anthem. Although it still mentions, it still follows the concept of where I wanted it to go. But it turned out to be an anthem, I hope, for any parent that's had to deal with this terrible journey of laying one of their children down. And so far, we've had great response from it. We did a lyric video. I'm sure you've seen it by now. And it's just got pictures of, and I didn't realize how many, but as soon as I asked for just in our circle, hey, if you've lost a child, send me a picture and their dates, and I want to honor them in our lyric video. And, I almost needed a longer song. Sadly, I almost needed a longer song, but if it just puts a smile on one of these parents' face, and it just brings a little bit of comfort by honoring their child, then hey, we met our goal. And the goal is just to shine some light in such a dark place, and that's what the song was intended to do: just shine some sort of light into a family's dark place.
Well, let's hear it. Here's Mark Ware and his song, Lost One.
You were up before the sunrise, always chasing one more dream. Headed out with quiet smiles, stronger than I've ever seen. All those first you fought to reach still echo in this home. And the hardest roads in life are ones a parent walks alone. Some things hit harder when the quiet settles in, and that loss cuts deeper than you'll ever imagine. Your picture's on the mantle, watching over me like you do. I say 2 prayers every morning, one for me and one for you. This life lifts you up like those moments when you were young, but nothing warns you about the time it takes the air from your lungs. It's a hurt you'll spend a lifetime trying to outrun. Yeah, when you've lost one. Well, I hear your voice in memories when the night turns rough and long, trying to be the kind of parent you believed in all along. I've learned the brightest lights can cast your darkest shadows known. Some days the hardest battles are the ones you fight alone. Your picture's on the mantle, watching over me like you do. I say 2 prayers every morning, one for me and one for you. This life lifts you up like those moments when you were young, but nothing warns you about the time it takes the air from your lungs. It's a hurt you'll spend a lifetime trying to outrun. Yeah, when you've lost one. Life gives you things full of memories worth more than you could spend, but the hardest pain you'll carry is losing what you'll never hold again. Your picture's on the mantle, watching over me like you do. I say 2 prayers every morning, one for me and one for you.
What a powerful song, Mark. Thank you for writing it. And I know it's going to meet people in a place that's hard to explain unless you've lived it. One thing I really appreciate about your music is that even with all that depth, it still carries tenderness. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you. So you're in a chapter now where family, grandkids, and the simple stuff really matter, the good stuff. I love that. How has being a granddad changed you?
Mark, my son, would say it's completely changed me. He would say that. But I'm going to tell you, there is absolutely nothing like being a papa. That's probably my favorite hat that I wear. You know, Mark being 24, I'm not Superman as much as I was anymore. So, you know, Superman was kind of turning back into Clark Kent kind of thing in our relationship. You know, he's at the age where he's a little taller, a little stronger, maybe even a little better looking than his daddy, right? But now I get to just go back full circle. So now I'm Superman again to these grandkids, and they just think that Papa's the strongest, he's the best, and I just absolutely love it. So I've been able to go full circle. You know how your kids, just think so much of you at first, and then, then they become more smarter than you, and, for a time period, and it just goes full circle. And grandkids just give you that opportunity to, be that top spot one more time. So, and I'm soaking it up as much as I can. My grandbabies are my world.
Well, how do you relax with your family when you're not performing?
Relax. We have, I got ADD so bad. I mean, if I'm relaxing, I'm asleep. So usually if I'm up, we're going at it, at the Ware camp. But relaxing, I'd say for me is just, when we do, it's cookouts outside under the cabana at the lake, and, playing some cornhole or, boat rides or something like that. But we're always doing something. The house is always full when we're home. So it's like it was when I went to my grandparents back in the day. Kim and I are still doing family night once a week. So we still do dinner once a week, and and mandate all the children and grandchildren come over to the house and eat once a week. We put up our phones and we talk at the dinner table. But I guess relaxing in our world right now is just spending time with family and, just loving and cherishing every minute we get with them.
That's wonderful. Mark, we're going to hear another song from another part of your heart, the heart of a granddaddy. So before we play this one, tell us the story behind I Already Love You.
So little Mark called me a few months back and says, hey, will y'all come over for a second? I need to ask you, come over to the house. I need to ask you something. So the whole time I was driving over, I was like, okay, I just need to borrow money. Wonder why we've got to go over. Why can't he just ask me on the phone? Well, we knew when we walked into his place, and on the island there in the kitchen was a pregnancy result stick in a onesie that said baby Ware. So he wanted us to come over so he could tell us that, Rebecca was expecting another child or a child. And so, I kept thinking, I wonder if it's a boy. I wonder if it's a girl. I wonder if it's a boy. I wonder if it's a girl. And, it wasn't long after that, something spoke inside of me and says, no matter if it's a boy or if it's a girl, I already love you. And so, the sex don't matter. I already love you. And so that's where the song came from. And, it just talks about, the things I look forward to, the hide and go seat, and then playing music in my band and, all the things that I'm doing with my other grandchildren. I can't wait to do with you. And it don't matter what you are, I already love you.
Well, here's Mark Ware with I Already Love You.
The angels had a secret. They whispered in my ear, a little baby's on the way to bless our world down here. Ballet shoes are waiting and a brand new baseball glove. Either way, there's no time to waste to dedicate my love. Maybe I should meet you first but my heart's about to burst. Well, I already love. Trust me when I say, boy or girl, it matters not. I'll love you either way. The angels told me not to tell, so just between me and you, I can't wait a minute more to say I love you. You know I can hardly wait to watch it all play out. Hide and seek and birthday cake, little things that life's about. Chasing down a football, or cheering on the side, or playing here in Papa's band will fill my heart with pride. All these dreams await someday. Hear me now, what I gotta say. Well, I already love you. Trust me when I say, boy or girl, it matters not. I'll love you either way. The angels told me not to tell, so just between me and you, I can't wait a minute more to say I love you. Your daddy's strong and your mama too. They'll give the very best for you. And when you've heard that I passed on, remember me and hum this song. Well, I already love you. Trust me when I say, boy or girl, it matters not. I'll love you either way. The angels told me not to tell, so just between me and you, I can't wait a minute more to say I love you.
Oh, what a sweet song, Mark. That is awesome. I love that. Let's talk about craft in the business side for a minute. One thing I've always respected about you is that your music is built to connect. You write from a real place, and I think people can feel that. What makes a song feel relatable to you?
What makes it, the main word, Heather, I just want to keep the song real. If it happened to me, I'm trying to stay out of the fictional space and say, listen, what is it time for right now? What is it time for the fans to learn about Mark Ware? I've got 54 years here on this earth, so I got a lot to write and share about. So what part of my story can I share with the fans next? And luckily, I'm getting these little boosts. Like the kids telling me I'm going to be another granddad, or a big win at the T-ball field, or, conversations with my grandson at the lake, or, playing a packed out show in Arizona, so I've got a lot of exciting things happening that just help me create and just stay positive. And that's what I want to share. I just want to always share a positive message and just try to give something back. And that's my whole goal. At the end of the day, I just want to be positive and give back.
Well, I love that. I know that you're helping one of my students, and you've always been so kind when I've called and had a question. And, I think a lot of people get things wrong about the music business. What would you say they get wrong about the music business?
The business concept in general. I wish I knew more of the business concept of it before I was so deep in it, because I've had to learn as I go. And I figured now if I could restart my full-time career 5 or 6 years ago and know what I know now, I would have missed many of the pitfalls or many of the obstacles I could have avoided if I just knew. And but in the music business, nobody really wants to share that. They kind of feel like, hey, if I share with you, it's going to put me back 2 steps, or it's going to be harder for me to climb. But I found that a lot of folks don't want to share the secrets to the business, if you will. And I just don't find that to be true. I feel like success can be made quicker with numbers. And hey, if helping you, I feel like helping you is going to help me get to where I need to be even faster. So 2 heads are better than one kind of thing. So every opportunity I get to help another artist, or if they tell me where they're at and what they're doing, if I have seen that obstacle prior, I'll be quick to say, I maybe you may want to look at that, because that's not the way I've seen it. And this is what it caused me. It took me 3 steps back, but you may want to look at this. And distribution was a big thing. It wasn't until I found out how this distribution really works with streaming. I just felt like I was spinning my wheels. Now I had to do some things in order. You had to be at a 30,000 minimum stream a month. I think it was a month before you would qualify to get on a good streaming distribution company. But that's been a world change overnight just for our moving catalog off of one of the platforms that's available for the independent artist out there. But it's been night and day, and I could see if I knew now, my time and efforts would have been focused a little bit different areas. I'd have been focused on growing my streaming numbers a lot faster than what I did organically, and seeing the things that helped me do that. I would have done them a lot sooner. That would allow more money in my pocket at the end of the day, because it gets expensive. You figure every song you produce, I'm probably in for $5,000-$6,000 a song. 40 songs on a catalog, it adds up. And somehow, if you're deciding to do this full time, somehow you got to figure out how to pay that $200,000 and still make money. And so that the business concept in general would be the toughest obstacle. I wish I'd have knew different. I wish I'd have had somebody like myself to keep me from some of the pitfalls. I think I would be a little bit further on in my career, if so. But hey, we're catching up, and we're catching up fast, and we're able to pay our bills and still keep Macy in college at Auburn, and with a little bit of a retirement check we're making, but we're making it happen in the music business, and it's all because of you guys, folks like you, that's put me on these podcasts, and fans that want to hear the music, and there's just a demand for a solid, real singer-songwriter type presence out there. People want to hear your story, and that's what I would tell any artist. Listen, people want to hear your story. Mm-hmm. Give it to them. Give it to them. Open it up. Give it to them. They want to hear your story. Some of your losses can help them win. So that's the way you got to think of it.
Well, thank you for having a granddaddy heart towards all these young artists that are getting started. And yeah, I'm a little biased. I think Gen X, I think we're one of the best, last greatest generations, because we were raised by World War II vets, but then we also saw the internet, come into fruition. And I think we've got a balance that the new generation has to learn on their own too. And I hope we can not gatekeep. I teach artist development, and that's part of what I do, is try to help artists, learn how to do this. We shouldn't gatekeep. We can all win. If it's good, it's good, right? So I think we should all help each other win, for sure. So yes, quick fire. We always do this on the show. We do a quick fire fun section. So don't overthink. I won't judge you. So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that one. And I know the answer probably to this one too, because being a fellow creative. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually very opposite. I can stay up all night. Favorite comfort food?
My favorite food in the entire world is hamburger steak. So okay. That's my go-to.
All right. How do you like it cooked?
Medium.
Medium. Okay, cool. So what is one song that you never skip?
The Dance, Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Awesome. Something funny you're oddly opinionated about.
What the temperature is set on the thermostat at the house.
And what would that be?
Well, I'm saying it needs to be 68, but I just can't. I don't understand why when I walk past it, sometimes it's 69 or 67. I thought we were on 68, but listen, you pick your battles.
Right. So, a habit that makes life better.
Listen, I learned this a long time ago. When you're going through struggles, or my granddad sit me down one time and he said, listen, if you want to change one thing, all you need to do, if you want to change things, all you need to do is get up before the sun comes up for one solid year. Make that a habit and your life will change. And I still do that today. And I find myself when I get up before anybody else gets up, that's when I look at my emails. That's when I have my private time with the Lord. That's when I plan out my day. And I can get more done, before anybody else gets up. I get to the office first. I do that in every aspect. I get to the gigs first. But just getting up every day before the sun comes up can change your life.
I do my best work at night, so my hours are a little skewed because I don't start teaching until the afternoon. So my time is usually after that. So something people wouldn't expect that you love talking about.
Most people don't know this either, but, I'm a business consultant as well. And, I love talking business and I love developing strategies and goals and marketing strategies. But most people don't know that about me, but that's something I really enjoy doing.
Okay, so basically you're a songwriter, fire chief, granddad, consultant, and thermostat sheriff is what you just told us. A very balanced man.
Busy.
So, Mark, we have one more song we want to hear today. Tell us the name of this one. Lessons, is that the name of it?
That's right. Lessons is the name of it. And it was a song I wrote for Mark Jr. And, it's just, like the beginning of the song talks about, I'm seeing a little more gray in my hair these days. I can't throw those hay bales like I used to. I'm getting weaker, you're getting stronger. But I hope that, being your dad, you was able to grab some lessons that you would be able to take and share with your kids. So Lessons is where it came from. It's a song to my son.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's hear it.
There's a little more gray in my hair these days, and I can't take a punch like I used to. I'm still baling hay in this Georgia sun, but I can't throw those bales like I could when I was young. I guess I'm getting older. Hope I'm getting wiser too. Hope I'm learning lessons that I can leave to you. I used to drive a truck. It was just like yours. I'd love to hit the back roads, hear those mud tires roll. Now that things are different, it ain't all about the show. The only thing that matters is getting where I need to go. Oh, I guess I'm getting older. I hope I'm getting wiser too. I hope I'm learning lessons that I can't leave to you. Oh, I guess I'm getting older. Son, I wouldn't trade 1 million as I'm getting older, I hope I'm getting wiser too. I hope I'm learning lessons that I can leave to you.
Oh, what a great song, Mark. I am so proud of you, by the way, not just for the music or for the career, but literally for the honesty and heartfelt way you live your life, and you share your heart so big. You've lived through some hard things, and you've turned that into songs that help people feel less alone, and I think that really matters. So to wrap up today, tell everybody where to find you and what's coming next.
So you can find me at officialmarkware.com. All of our tour dates should be on there. It should be updated. Bands in town should be updated. If not, they will be updated later on the day. You can find me on the TikToks and the Instagram at Ware Music, and just my name on Facebook. You can find us there. What's next is I think in March we're in Sarasota, Kentucky, and Utah. So the tour actually starts I think March 9th, and last year we did 51 shows in 52 weeks. This year we've dialed it back a little bit. We went from Seattle to Florida last year. We've dialed it back. We're really trying to make a splash in the Southeast. So a lot of Southeast dates this year. And we're probably targeting 40 to 45 shows. If you'd like us, you can go to the website, inquire. If you see a festival or fair you want to invite us to, we would love to come. So more importantly, just stream our songs. Just stream our songs and give us the feedback.
Well, I know that Lost One is, at the time of this recording, is about to be released. So when you hear this, listeners, please go download Lost One. Download all the songs that you heard today on the show. Go follow Mark Ware. He's my good buddy at officialmarkware.com and at Ware Music. This is the Heather Patero Show. And Mark, we've just loved having you today, my friend.
Thank you. And thank you for what you're doing, Heather. Thank you so much. Well, we need more of this out there. And so thank you for just helping us artists out here.
Oh, I love you guys. You know, I'm one of you, and we got to help each other, right? We can all win.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Hey, listen, we'll see you next time on the Heather Patero Show. You've been listening to the Heather Patero Show, produced by Heather Patero Studios. Connect with us on Facebook or Instagram, or visit heatherpatero.com. Until next time, stay creative and live on purpose.